Hi, welcome back to West Coast Geeks. I'm your host, Joaquin. How we doing, people? You know who's with me.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, no player's handbook video this week. Here's the thing. Eric works nights, I work days, so the best we can compromise right now is um doing a video at night right after when he gets off of work. And so I actually have Thursdays off. I know most of you are like, so give a damn, talk about the video.
Get your
So
shit together.
we're gonna yeah. So we're gonna do a short video on this. Hopefully next week we can get the player's handbook, that one out of the way. Sorry, just for kicks. I know you love the series. Um so and I
We'll get
still
back
have
to it, we
the
promise.
Greyhawk. I mean the Underdark. I got that ready to go. I'm gonna work on that tomorrow because that's my day off. And it's going to be a series where basically it's from the point of view of the Drow librarian in the city of Greyhawk. So it's going to be from
Interesting.
yeah, man.
You better not do that shit without me.
I am doing it without you. Be-
Man, you better not. I'll find you.
No, because I have to. This just kind of like will set up some things, and then we can like talk about the race and those other things. It's kind of like a setup. This is the intro. Like
Make me sad.
this is done, Eric. I got all the research, looking up the photos and everything. This is happening tomorrow.
Don't
So
make me bust in. And
I'll
your
let
ass
you.
on Discord bust into your stream.
Yeah, that's a surprise visit. All right, so I decided to do G1 Steading of the Hill Giant, the first advance Dungeons and Dragons tournament module, and so this is going to be a non-spoiler. I'm planning on having, if I can get the group to play this. Eric's gonna go through this, so I'm not gonna go into too much details, but we are just gonna do a quick overview, and more important, the importance of this module. It's of course it's by Gary Gygax, 1978, TSR Gaming, and I uh, I like this module. You know, did you ever get it? You never got a chance to play this, correct?
No, a lot of the older ones, like I said, we didn't start doing them until they put those most of our stuff was homebrew.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until they started putting the big books together, like Temple and Spider Queen and Scourge Lord or Slave Lords and all that.
So you
They
did get to
started doing
go
those. We
through.
kind of delved into those. But man, my memory's so bad. You could throw spoilers in here, and I'll forget it by the time we
Yeah.
start.
So no, I'm gonna be doing DM tips on this, and that one I'll be doing solo.
Yeah.
The only one that Eric's gonna be commenting on that is when we do our Ravenloft.
Oh shit.
So this module does get criticized a lot, and we're gonna go into that when we do the wrap up. But I you know I've always loved this module. I think it's a great mid level adventure that's really deadly. So here we go,
Most of that
people.
original stuff was, man. They didn't fuck around.
No, they didn't. All right. So the module begins with a prologue explaining that the giants of different types have been raiding lands occupied by humans. Like, angered by this, the human rulers hire a group of adventurers, the player characters, to punish the miscreant giants. The player's
Miscreant.
party is informed that they must defeat the giants or have their heads placed on the chopping block. The
What?
human nobles equip the party with weapons and horses, along with a guide and a map that shows the location. So this is like just straight railroad. The very beginning of D and
Yeah.
D. Gary Gygax was no nonsense. He's like, this is the adventure. Your DM's gonna run it. If you
You're
don't
not
want to
going
be
off
a
the
part of
rails.
it, get the hell out of the group.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those like this is what we're playing. You know, because as a DM, we're talking. This is the '80s. You had to
Yeah.
buy the player's handbook. You had to buy the monster manual. You had to buy the DM's guide. You had to buy a set of dice. Most likely, you
Still
had to
had to do
buy
all that. Yep.
another dice. Then he had to buy the module. That's 6 things.
Yep.
So if you were the asshole player that tried to derail this at the beginning, um, you're just an asshole, dude. I mean, that pretty much summed it up
Well,
because
and I think there was a lot more respect for the dungeon master back then because they really, he was the one that made the game. It was a different attitude back then.
yeah, because I it wasn't till 3rd edition that I kinda noticed the attitude that we're now here in 5th, like, what's my motivation? I don't wanna do this, I don't wanna do
Yeah,
that, I don't
what's
wanna
my
be a hero.
motivation?
It's like my motivation is that for me, because 'cause I'm an artist, I'm taking time not painting or drawing so I can run these sessions. That's your
Yeah.
motivation, plus all the stuff I bought. Alright, so we got off that rant. But that but that's part of the hook. So they assume the player characters are going in and dealing with this. And so the the players are equipped. So this is like mid-level. So you're talking like starting level back in first edition was like 7th edition, 7th through 10th. They wanted you to start off around. And
Hmm.
they gave you equipment, and that might even included like minor magical items in the sense of like healing potions. All depends on what your DM allowed.
Yeah.
And so also this was a tournament module. So people played these in the course of a weekend.
Yep.
And that was the other premise too. They're like, here, boom, this is this is the background. Now let's go. That type of thing.
No nonsense.
No
Gonzo.
nonsense. So, accepting the deal. The players are informed that the Hill Giants are led by how do you pronounce that? No
No, Nostra.
Nosra. A sly
Nostra. Yeah.
yeah. A sly Hill Giant chief who loves to set up ambushes. There is an unknown force binding together different giant groups. The player characters are informed that they may keep any spoils they find, but must return at once to determine what the sinister hand is behind the alliance.
Really?
So right off the bat, even though this is set up to be somewhat of a hack and slash, but it's not because we're going to go into that after. Um, it just wasn't just go kill these giants. Is
Yeah, you got
why?
to investigate.
Yeah, why are these giants, who normally don't band together in these numbers and these coordinations and are being very strategic? Um, who's behind this? And so when I do
Mm.
my video on that Yale Mandry,
Yeomanry,
Yeomanry. That's it. I even told Eric, I go, you gotta correct me on that. So
yeomanry.
Yeomanry, when I do that, I'm gonna be
OG.
showing you the locations and we're gonna talk about um why it's important. And we'll talk about that at the very end of the map when we get there. But so this is part of the background. So the characters are like, okay. So this is gonna be a short video because, like I said, I'm not gonna go too much into spoilers. So the Hill Giant Steading is in the Jotun Mountains, which in the Darling map in the Greyhawk is set on the um southeast of part of the map. And when the players arrive at the steading, they find a cave they can use as a base, and they just assume that you just make it there without any hassles. Um, because they just, like I said, it's a tournament they want to go.
Yeah.
Now, at the very bottom of this image right here, you see the little entrance right there going into the steading and how big this
Uh-huh.
is. There are supposed to be a hill giant guarding the front door, or maybe two, and they're not there. And so,
Oh.
depending on what time of day or night when the DM decides that you land there, you will hear different noises going on from the fort because they're giants and they're loud. And um,
So hill giants built this structure, eh?
yeah, and so
Huh.
the whole thing of having stupid hill giants in first edition, while they did play them off like that, they also elevated them in the first module ever about hill giants. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah, because
showed
they still kind of have that dumb connotation to them.
they do in my home brew settings. I try to tend to move away from that because in the Monster Manual 2, on the cover, you see this hill giant, and he's all decked out in leather.
That's a furbolg.
Or that's not a hill giant?
Nope, that's a furbolg.
I
The one
thought
swinging that giant pole
I
arm
thought that was a hill
with that
giant.
helmet. No, that's a furbolg.
You sure?
I'm absolutely 100% positive because I made that character when they allowed furbolg characters.
A big character. I don't know. Somebody leave a comment below. I gotta double check that, but I'm pretty sure that was a hill
Man,
giant.
please double check my work, motherfucker.
Double check. Somebody double check our work. So, either way, even the cover of this module showed the chief decked out in armor and not just some like little rags. So they took it like in some of the illustrations, which I didn't really show because I'm gonna save that for the DM tip. Um, so you're not supposed to play these guys as being really stupid. Like I throw a rock down the hall, and the giant who kind of got a glance at me goes, "I wonder what's over there," and then walks off. Yeah, don't do that. They even tell you
I'm
in
gonna
the
do that.
DM's tip to play these giants as intelligent monsters. All right. So possible starting locations of the Greyhawk map. So
Oh, here we go. We got the Jotuns, we got Yeomanry, the Tors,
yep.
Little Hills.
And if you look down at the
Ah,
very
okay.
bottom of the map, it says Vault of the Drows. So that's where you're gonna end up. It's kind of
Oh
like a long
shit!
circle around.
Oh yeah,
So
that's my favorite.
I like this map right here. So G1 Steading of the Hill Giant Chief, the Jotun Mountains, which you don't see at all, but northwest of Lofwick, the capital of Yeomanry. That's where you start. So as you can see, up above Lofwick is Northreach. That's a city, and Fairvale. In between those are other villages that have been getting raided, and they seem to be moving closer and closer to these cities like Northreach and Fairvale, and so they're asking for aid. So before the king commits to sending an army to deal with the giants, he wants to know what's going on. And so that's how the player characters get involved. So
Ah,
possible rewards for a creative DM would be they keep if you do this service and you eventually make it through and through the giants, when you come back, you'll most likely be granted some kind of knighthood for those who are eligible, and maybe some land off in the mountains. That way, the player characters can protect a certain 30-mile grid somewhere.
oh
And
shit!
and
Get
I'm
some
gonna
henchmen.
go into this country right here because as you can see, there's a lot of green, so there are a lot of farmers. And what I was reading on there really quick, there's a democracy. Like they form all these committees, and these committees meet, and um, their thing is, if you've been a citizen there, you're always a citizen of this country. If I remember that
Nice.
correctly, what I was reading. So, um,
You're gonna make me go read my Greyhawk books now,
yeah, I
man.
got to, man. That's what we're starting with. So, the next module that includes the G1 is the Queen of the Spiders. So, in the country of Sturrich, the Jotun Mountains, which you see above, are in the southern part of the country. So, all the modules except for the next one, I shouldn't even say that. So, the first two modules are dedicated to the Jotun Mountains and the Crystal Mountains and the Hell Furnace. Um, the 25th anniversary, which I have, is against the Giants. So they repackage these and they don't include Descent into the Earth. So they take out the whole
Weird.
Drows, and they have the Cloud Giants are the ones who are trying to invade. So that takes place in the country of Geoff or Jeff, right? How
Yeah, yeah,
Jeff?
yep.
Yeah. So the liberation of Jeff. That's the name of the adventure. So it starts
One of the
off at
original Gygax group.
yep. So
That's older.
What?
I'm sorry. No, no. So all the names like Mordenkainen and Big B and all those were names that there were actual characters of the original D&D group. So the guy that I have playing in my group, I told you about him, right?
Yeah.
Don Perrin. He used to be like part of that group, and he
Shut
would tell me
up.
stories. Yeah, that's what dude. He's written Dragonlance novels. He was
He
married
was
to
part of
Margaret
the
White.
original Gygax group?
Dude, Gary Gygax used to work for this guy.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
man.
dude, that's what's so crazy. Like when I found out, it was weird. Like I was totally intimidated to have him join my D&D group.
Yeah, you don't want him
Like
judging
this,
you, man. You're like, and
but
then
dude, you
this
know what?
happens, and then you look
He
at
says
him.
I've run his favorite games. I was like, no, dude. I'm like, there's no way. He's like, yeah. I was like, what? So yeah, but he tells stories all the time like that. Like, oh, Big B was such and such, and
Hey,
Mordecai was such
you
and such.
you ever think
Yeah,
you can get him to join in on a video, or we just talk to him and I can ask him questions?
you know what? I'll talk to him. I should see him. I saw him a couple weeks ago. It's been crazy, like I said, this
Yeah,
month
no,
because
no,
I'm
no.
doing a bunch
Yeah,
of
with
moving
all
that.
your
But
things.
yeah, I'll talk to him. I should see him at least by July 9th because we're doing
Yeah,
our
we could
session
we could
zero.
pick a day where we're all kind of free, and well, we'll have to pick a day where we're all free,
It'll
and
probably be a Sunday. That's usually the easiest day for us.
yeah, okay, that's whatever like fits your guys' schedule, I can do that, and
But yeah, I can ask, I feel weird asking him about stuff like that sometimes, but I mean he might be up to do it. I know he's got one of the reasons I told you I was going to Historicon. He's winning the Jack Scrubby Award. It's a lifetime achievement
yeah.
for contributions to historical wargaming.
Oh, cool,
And
man.
it's like it's pretty like I was reading it's pretty like elite. Like only 17 people have ever won this.
Damn.
And two of those were the parent brothers that do like all the warlord miniatures and they used to work for GW and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don's a pretty accomplished guy, man. He's written a lot of stuff. I have some of his books. He was joking one time. He was at my house and because we play my campaign at my house and that.
Yeah.
And we were up in my game room and that, and he sees one of these, like, I can sign that for you. I was like, shut up, dude.
Dang, man.
But yeah, he's a
That's
really
pretty
cool guy,
cool
man.
because you were being respectful by saying, "Hey, could you sign my book?" You know.
Yeah, no, I didn't ask him that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
that's what
felt
I'm
weird.
saying. Like you were
Yeah.
being respectful, like, "Hey, I'm just glad you're here. That's cool." And
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
mean,
"I
he's
can
just
sign
one of the
that."
guys, but like I said, he's because we always talk about that because I'm a big Dragonlance fan, and
Ooh.
he's like, yeah, he's like, oh, if I would have known, I wouldn't have burned all that stuff after I got the divorce. So I was like,
Oh,
oh my god,
Jesus, man, that is
no,
sad.
he's a really cool guy. He,
All right, well,
he's like
just
I
throw it
said,
out there. Just say, "Look, my friend asked me to ask you."
right.
You
I'll
know,
ask him, see what he says. Like I
yeah,
said, we do all kinds of games. We do D&D, we do miniature games. We do 40K and Song of Ice and Fire and Flames of War.
that'd be cool. I mean, if he can,
So
that'd be cool. I would just
yeah,
love to
I'll
just
ask him.
talk about D&D with him and stuff like that. So, just
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he always has stories like that. But I'll
be
ask
cool.
him, see what he says.
All right. So, as you can see here on the
Back on
map,
track.
yeah, now we're back. As you can see, this is why our videos are long, people, because we can get one
Right?
thing, and I'm trying to stay focused, and then it's like boom. No,
That one was my fault.
yeah, yeah. So, Dallas, they Eric for this. All right, so you see, this is the area your player characters are going to end up if you want to play this in the Greyhawk setting. And so there's a lot to work just with this map right here. There are so many cool ideas, so many towns. You have mountains, you have hills, you have even a swamp towards the southeast. I should have said southwest is where this location is because the east is on the way other side. But there's some cool locations. So eventually your party does make it there, and you're going trekking into the mountain. All right, so now we're in the wrap up. So the next video on the series, like I said, would be the country of yeomanry.
Yeomanry, no D.
Yeomanry.
Yeah.
Yeah, um so this module is a hack and slash if you want to die quickly. and there's a reason for that. There are a couple of encounters in here that will catch the players off guard if they've never played the adventure before.
Mm.
Depending on what's going on, when they enter, how they enter, um, they could just get killed right off the bat, and it's crazy because you know I put in there the party has a few options to take while exploring the steading, and in the module, the DM is instructed not to let the players burn down the fort. It says in there, like, like,
I'm burning that bitch down.
yeah, he knew they wrote it in, dude. Like they knew they're
I'm
like,
burning it down, Joaquin.
yeah, they're just like, yeah, go ahead. You got an 8% chance of it staying lit, and that's with magical fire. Anything else, good luck. That ain't happening.
Firebolt '05.
Yeah, and so I've seen like little like Reddit posts or DM tips on this where they just said my DM got around this which I thought was pretty clever that um the whole foundation except for like the roof is made of stone and then they put the logs behind it. I mean in front of
Mm,
it. So they put like, they still use the logs and they kind of treat it like this was like the quick building of it, and then
yeah.
um the other forces who are helping them came along and said you need to reinforce this because somebody's just going to set it on fire. And
You better hope you don't have no elves with flaming arrows.
yeah, so it's deep into the mountains. They have to go in there. um they really are trying to teach the players in this adventure that just can't go into every situation and kill everything because there will be
Well, I don't
consequences.
know how that's gonna go over with our group.
Yeah. And so it can get really ugly. And so you you have to pick the right level to have your players go into it. They can't be too low because then they'll just get killed easy. But they they shouldn't be starting off at like 12th to 13th level because then they'll just walk into certain situations and just fireball like they'll have like three characters. It'll be like fireball, necklace of fireball, ring of spell storing, fireball, and kill like a
Pretty
whole
nice.
bunch of giants. So there are things that as a DM you have to like anticipate. And so now I'm going to get into why a lot of people have criticized this adventure. And I don't think a lot of these people who did criticize this adventure, number one, I don't think they even realized what a tournament module was at the time, and that
Hmm.
this was the first. And so it's like comparing. I'm not saying you can't criticize it, but the first.
It's a different style,
Well, yeah, like look at the first automobile that was ever created, right?
right?
And what did they go like 20, 15 to 20 miles an hour that you had to
If
crank
that.
up, it,
Yeah.
it
I
got,
mean, what people don't realize, a lot of the people that criticize it from today's perspective.
yeah,
You got to remember, this was 50 years ago. Things were a lot different 50 years ago. Ways of thinking were a lot different 50 years ago. So kids nowadays, they just don't. And when I say kids, I just
yeah,
because I'm fucking old
yeah,
and a 25-year-old is a kid to me.
yep.
So, you know, they look at things in a different light.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But to me, it's just kind of
Well,
like, just don't like, before you criticize something, know what you're talking about at least.
yeah.
And that's why I want to do these series of adventures because I want to cast a different light from a player and a DM who has played this adventure. I played as a player probably about, I don't know, 7, 8 times at least. And as a DM, I must have ran this
Jeez.
adventure probably like, I don't know, 20 times, maybe more. Yeah, I was fortunate as a kid with my group. that we after we played all the adventure modules I had, we just started over and we played them again. And I would change up
Wow.
some of the rooms and do some other little motivation things, but
Mhm.
they didn't go, "Oh, we got to be careful behind this door." Every now and
Yeah,
then they would
they
do that, and then everybody as a group, including myself, would just look at them like, "Hey, come on now, we all know everybody knows, but you can't play like it."
yeah, that you had a good group, dude, 'cause people will be like, "Okay, we know what's behind here.
Yeah,
We're gonna do this, and this person's gonna open it." I'm like, "What?"
yeah, exactly. But if you with this adventure, you're really supposed to send in some scouts first. Like a thief
Yeah.
or a mage with a thief backup or whoever you got a stealthy character with invisibility and start to map out the very beginning and what you see. And then you bring it back to the group and you're like, oh, okay. Because remember, you're not supposed to go in there and try to kill all the hill giants, even though they
Yeah,
do
you gotta
encourage you to do as much damage as possible. You're supposed to
mhm.
make it back alive so you can tell them and find proof of what's going on. And you will find proof in there about
Who's running
the
what?
yeah, you know, um this leads up into, it's not that big of a spoiler, but this leads into the Drow. And that's what made the G series so important because at the end of the series on G3, it's the Drow who are pulling the strings. And then you go through the D series, and the D series is cool once we get into that, is because now you're in the underground and you're get to just travel through there for D1, Descent into the Earth.
Mhm.
The Shrine of the Kuatoans. You get to
Oh, the Shrine of the
you get
Kuatoa.
to experience the a city that's built,
Uh-huh.
that's built by these first time meeting this race. Um, you're gonna meet into all types of other creatures, and then what you think's gonna be the climax, D3, the Vault of the Drow. You get there and you find out the entire
No,
time.
no, 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 don't.
No, this is all common knowledge, dude.
No, it's not, because you're saying shit that I don't even know.
Damn you. All right, so we'll leave it at that as we build our way through.
I'm gonna wrap that shit up real tight.
Yeah. So, you know, all right, we're at 27 minutes. So, uh, that's my take on this adventure. I think it's like I said, I'm going to be doing a DM's tip. Better not watch it, Eric.
Son
After
of
I
a bitch.
do the how do you pronounce that? Yeoman? No, not Yeoman.
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 Yo, man.
Yo man. All right, Yeoman.
Yeomanry.
Yeah. So after I do the county of Yeoman, I'm gonna come back on the days that Eric can't um do a video with me, and I'm gonna be breaking this adventure down. And so, I hope you guys are enjoying this series, especially because this is really just the history of D&D and Eric's experience both as a player and a DM.
Yeah,
And
it's funny, for as long as I've played and as long as I've been playing DD, like all these everything was homebrew, man. Like I never played a lot of these modules, and it sucks because I'm just like, but
yeah,
I've been playing a long time, but not the standard stuff.
yep. And so you have two different perspectives. Like Eric, has a lot of old school D&D information that I kind of just have a little bit of, like I have a little cherry picked here and there. It's because while I have a big collection, starting from advanced and moving up to a little bit of third, and then now I'm starting to collect fifth. My knowledge was more of staying within the printed, where Eric probably what you read a lot of Dragon magazines and stuff
A lot of Dragon magazines, all kinds of
and
all kinds of
novels
third
and all
party
the
stuff.
novels, and I
Yeah,
didn't really get into
all
that
the
until later.
Rosa novels. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it, people. So Eric, you have the last words. Any
All right.
comments on this?
I'm looking. You know what? I'm really like we were talking about. I really look. I might go read some Greyhawk books, man. I hope we do that. I hope your next adventure is the what we were talking about
Yeah.
with some Greyhawk action. I like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
what
I'm looking forward to the next videos.
yeah, so the Yeoman one, the Yeomanry,
Yo, man.
Yeoman.
Yo, man. Ree.
Um, I'm gonna be breaking down from what the original Greyhawk, the Darlene map had, and then we're gonna go into the living gather. How do you pronounce that? Gazetteer?
Gazetteer.
What the hell does that even mean, Gazetteer?
Gazetteer is like an old timey saying for like a newspaper or a periodical.
Hmm. See, this is why you come. This is why you pay attention, people. At the end, learn a new
Onto
fun
useless
fact.
knowledge. Fun fact, monkey fun fact.
Monkey fun. too bad. Too bad I don't have any really good skills. I'd actually put a little monkey face in there with like a graduation hat on there.
Right? Like a little monkey with a crown.
Yep. Bing. He's got a monkey fun fact. So
That's a monkey fun fact.
so
Hashtag monkey fun fact.
hashtag indeed. All right, so people, we're gonna keep this short. It's already at 31 minutes. That's actually a short video
It
for
is.
us.
It is.
It is. So with that, people, we'll catch you later.
Take it easy, guys.